Hey, I am the Wolfman, Chief Instructor here at Barefoot Bushcraft, and I want to talk to you today about a really cool bushcraft hack that you can do at home and make your life an awful lot easier. So this here is a military ID tag. You can get them aftermarket at various surplus stores. You can get them all over the internet. This is a Canadian version, but what they all have in common, Canadian, American, or otherwise, is these weird pop bead-like chain. And I will show you that. Have a look at that right there. So this chain basically are a whole bunch of little beads, and the beads go together, and they allow it to be strong like metal, but unfortunately, if they get caught on something, they'll break off. The problem with this is when you put them on, if you have any kind of hair on your chest, so that is, a good percentage of of men and a very, very small percentage of women. What'll happen is these little beads and stuff will catch your chest hairs. And holy Hannah, if you wear these, I can assure you, you're going to be in a little bit of pain every time you move. Really, really uncomfortable. So I'm going to show you how to take a piece of paracord, wrap it around this chain, and make it a whole lot more comfortable. One warning before we begin. If you don't have the right to wear military ID tags and you are not employed by the military, for the love of God, please make sure that these are stamped non-combatant. You will save yourself a whole lot of hurt and trouble in a lot of different areas. Anyways, let's begin. So like any project, before we begin, we need to assemble our tools. So we have our iDiscs here, or whatever ID tags you want to use. I have the pop bead type thingy that they use here for the string. I have a nice piece of paracord, and most importantly, I have a Leatherman multi-tool. You can use Swiss, whatever works. And this is it's quite simply just a little like a paper clip, and I've taken the paper clip and I've put it apart. You'll see why we need that in a moment. So the first thing we want to do here is make ourselves some room. We're going to take our long piece of material, and then our beads, and then we're going to take the paracord. We're going to unwrap the paracord and make sure the paracord is a minimum of 4 inches longer, or about 10 centimeters longer than the chain. So we're going to line it up. We're just going to pass that through, just like this. So we'll start again. Line it up, pass it right through like this. And now we can see we're sort of getting to the end. All right, there's the end. And the next thing I want to do is make sure that here, and we're going to make sure we got another bunch, so about that far. So that looks good. And now what I'll do is I'm going to take my my tool, whatever tool that you use for cutting, can be a pair of scissors, can be Leatherman, whatever. Give that a cut. There we go. So now we're going to remeasure it. Of course, you always want to make sure you remeasure. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our end like this. We're going to hold it on. Okay, and we're just going to simply pass it through. Make sure that we run out of cord, like we saw, before we run out of this. So it's very, very important to make sure that you have a little extra paracord. Again, you're going to start here, going to pull that through, and you can see that ends here. Got a little extra. So that's that part. Step 2, of course, is we're going to take the paracord and we're going to core it. So you see it's got that white stuff sticking out there. We're just going to grab this, the white, and we're just going to pull it right out of the paracord. Just like that. So now what we're end up with is you end up with a paracord, basically like a shoelace. It's a shaft. It's hollow inside. So this is where this project starts to come together quickly and right away, right? So now we're going to take my pop bead necklace-like thing that comes with these tags, and I'm going to take my paper clip, and I'm just going to feed my paper clip through the end. Just like this, see? Or in this case, I can put it this way, it doesn't really matter. The next step is I'm going to push this around and make this so it stays on there. And that's kind of important because I'm going to be feeding it through. So I take my piece of metal, fold it on, just like that. Now what's going to happen is as I feed it through, it's going to stay on, right? And that's exactly what we want to happen. We want this to stay on and not fall off. So the next step, you're going to take your paracord here. You're going to make sure that that end is open, just like that. You're going to take this and you're just going to shove it in the hole. Boom, just like that. Now, make sure that it all goes in properly, that it's not going to fall out, because that's a bugger of a time if it falls out to try to repair it. So I'm going to use my Leatherman here and fix that. So now it's going to go in. The next step is basically just to try to convince this to end up out here. So I put the metal in there, so now I have something to guide it. So I can play kind of like a slinky toy, and I can just push that right through end to end, just like this. Doesn't always go through the first time. I've done this quite a few times, so I have a little bit of experience doing it, but there we go. So now I have both ends. I have one end here and the other end here in my hand. I can take my metal off just like this, and that's simply done through twisting this. Now the one thing you got to make sure that this does not retract in here, because it's going to make a mess. And you can kind of see this is starting to do that, right? You don't want that to happen, so you got to be on top of it. There. Keeping my fingers out of the way. Open this up, pull this out. Again, you got to make sure that these guys don't slide in. So the next step is actually pretty simple. You're going to take your eye disc, right? We're going to take them out of a little packet here. I'm going to just take these, just like this. Again, when they come out of the packet. And I'm going to just put them through. Right? So you want to put them through like this. And now you're going to take your paracord and make sure that the paracord follows it through. So you might have to twist it, you might have to pull it. It doesn't always go easy the first time. And see that? Look at that. That's just how we want it. The next step, again, making sure that I still hold this, because if this gets out, it's going to be a bugger to get back in there, or I have to restart my project. Again, you're going to take the same, you're going to put it through this side, like this, and give that a twist. And try to get the paracord, convince the paracord to go through the hole. Now, depending on the manufacturer of these, or where you bought them, or where they come from, this isn't always an easy job. It just looks easy because I've done it multiple times. There. So now we have a paracord shield around our little pop bead-like necklace. So the next thing we're going to do is, this is pretty simple. We're going to take these two, we're just going to pin them together, right? Just like this. So I'm going to move a little closer to the camera so you can see exactly how that's done. So you put that in the hole and just push it on. The next thing I always do is I take my pliers and I give them a pinch, because the last thing I would ever want is for when they're inside this sleeve, I don't ever want that to come undone. Now I just let it go. Straighten it all out, just like this. And now what you can see has happened is my paracord here, it's all closed up. So basically the last step is just to make sure that you have lots and lots of paracord at the end. And what this basically does is we're just going to melt it. I'm just going to take a match, and we're going to melt it, and that is basically the end of this project. So let's go ahead here and do that. Okay, so this is our last step. We're going to take our matches. I usually pull out 2 matches at a time just so that they light. This is the most trickiest part of what we're going to do, is to try to get this to mush up. So we're going to strike our matches. There we go. And all we're basically going to do is liquefy that paracord just like this with the match. And what that will do now is seal it, make that little tube a seal. And once it seals up, all we need to do then is crimp it with, while it's still molten, of course, with our paracord or our little tool that we're using, just like this. And I might want to do that again just to smooth it out. You can see, nice and smooth right there. So, almost done. That's all I need to do. Again, I'm going to take 2 matches just so I make sure that they're going to stay. I'm going to try to light them and just make sure that we're good. Because otherwise, it's going to be uncomfortable when you wear it if you don't have it nice and smooth on there, right? So there we go. So that's it. Quick little mod, quick little field mod to take something that would normally be a pain in your chest and would be a real pain. You know, the chest hair pulling is just an awful, awful thing. So take some paracord, cord the paracord, put it around, and now I have something that is as good as new. I can wear my non-combatant dog tags out and about. You don't wear them all the time, full time, when I'm out having adventures, camping, hiking, kayaking, canoeing, caving, whatever, doesn't matter. And you're not going to get injured. Plus, this also adds about another 20-pound braking strength to the strength of your tags. So they're going to be held on just a little bit more. So that's about it. Pretty quick and easy mod. I hope everybody likes this and can do this at home if you choose to. I am the Wolfman. Thank you for watching, and of course, please consider subscribing.